Let me tell you something that might shake you a little, but in a good way. There are quiet storms that rage inside the narcissist long after you've walked out of their life, and they prey to every ego-stained idol that you never find out about it. You ever feel that tug in the soul, like someone still whispering your name in the dark, trying to erase you with every breath but failing miserably? That's not your imagination. That's the echo of your resilience messing with their carefully curated illusion. See, when a narcissist discards someone, it's never clean. It's not closure. It's not peace. It's unfinished business wrapped in fake bravado. They walk away like they've won something, like they traded you in for a shinier model and never looked back. But oh, they look back. All time. Because what they lost wasn't a toy, wasn't a pawn. It was someone who saw through them and still walked away anyway. That stings. That burns. The narcissist doesn't remember the good times. They remember the power you took with you. They remember the way you didn't beg. The way you didn't crumble. They don't feel heartbreak like you and I do. They feel insult. Offended. Outraged. Like the world betrayed their little script. You weren't supposed to survive. You weren't supposed to glow without them. But look at you now. Still breathing. Still healing. Maybe even thriving. And that drives them up the walls of their own empty kingdom. They don't just remember you. You linger. Like the scent of truth on a lie they tried to perfume. You're the moment they couldn't erase. You're the face in their mirror when they try to convince themselves they're whole. And while they post their hollow victories, smiling next to someone new, behind the scenes they're rewriting the story like a bitter author who can't accept the ending. Suddenly, you're the villain. The unstable one. The mistake. Because it's easier to smear you than to admit they never broke you. But here's the sacred truth they don't want you to uncover. You're not their regret. You're their reminder. That real power can't be taken. It can only be surrendered. And you never gave yours up. That's why they still think about you. That's why your name still has weight in their world, even if it's never spoken out loud. You are proof that light doesn't need permission to shine again. So if you've ever wondered, do they still think about me? Let me answer with the kind of honesty that heals, yes. But not with love, with resentment, with disbelief, with a need to control the memory of you because they couldn't control your ending. And that's what keeps you unforgettable. Let me tell you what they won't, what they'd rather swallow nails than admit. You're the failure they can't unsee. You didn't just slip through their hands. You slipped through with your soul untamed, your dignity untouched, your head held higher than ever. And that wasn't a simple goodbye. It was a revelation. It was like the curtain fell, and there they stood, barefaced, stripped of their theater lights. The narcissists didn't lose a relationship, they lost control. They lost the script. They lost the mask. And when someone like that loses their mask, oh, it's not just painful, it's apocalyptic. It was never about you. Never about love. It was about dominion. And when you walked, you didn't just escape. You testified. You left carrying the truth they tried so hard to bury. You walked out like a storm breaking through a fake sky. You saw the monster behind the charm and didn't just survive, you named it. And now, you live in their memory like thunder. Loud. Unavoidable. Unforgiving. But narcissists don't take defeat quietly. They rewrite. They twist. Suddenly, you're the unstable one. The difficult one. The one they tried to help. Why? Because as long as they can paint you as the villain, they never have to admit they lost to someone stronger. It's smoke and mirrors all over again. But no matter how many people they fool, no matter how wide their stage becomes, your shadow still shows up in their mirror. Because you were the ending they didn't author. And nothing eats a narcissist more than a story that ends without their name in bold. Now listen to me carefully. You were the one who lit the match and never looked back. The narcissist had a blueprint. Press here, lie there, twist a little truth until the soul begs for mercy. But you weren't in the blueprint. You were the rupture. You didn't plead, you roared. You didn't melt, you ignited. You took the game board and turned it to splinters. And then you walked, with fire still in your eyes. The narcissist fears many things, but exposure? That's the ultimate terror. You stripped them of their camouflage. You tore down their altar, brick by manipulative brick, and now they flinch at the sound of your name. Not because you mean nothing, but because you meant too much. Not in love, but in consequence. You were the one who saw, the one who spoke, the one who didn't flinch. And now, when they lie awake staring at the ceiling, it's not peace they feel, it's the gnawing itch of knowing they couldn't erase you. You are the bruise they can't explain, the truth they can't drown, the silence they can't manipulate. And it doesn't end there. You became the measuring stick they can't live up to. They'll pretend they've moved on, flashing that new smile, draping their arm around someone new, painting their highlight reel in gold. But here's the thing, you are still the standard. Every laugh they force, every compliment they whisper, it's all laced with comparison. Will this one break like the last? Will this one stay even when the mask slips? They don't miss you. They miss the power they couldn't have. And now, every new conquest is just a poor reflection of the one who walked away without permission. You haunt the spaces between their lies. You are the ghost in every replacement's eyes. But they'll never admit it. They'll tell themselves fairy tales. That one was never mine. That one was broken. That one was too much. But behind all those bedtime stories is a single bitter truth. You were the war they started but couldn't win. And that truth, it won't stop speaking. You prove they bleed. The narcissist struts through life like a marble statue, polished, untouchable above it all. They convince the world they're made of fireproof stone, immune to heartbreak, immune to consequence. But then came you, and you didn't raise your voice. You didn't play dirty. You didn't waste breath trying to fix what they shattered. You just left. And that was the crack in the armor. That was the moment the marble bled. You see, the narcissist survives on power, control is their oxygen. And when you walked away, quiet and unbroken, you stole the air right out of their lungs. You didn't fall apart. You didn't beg for crumbs. You simply turned and took your soul with you. That undid them. Because you became living proof that the narcissist is not divine, not indestructible, not special, just a person wearing too many masks and hoping no one notices the cracks. And that real mirror, the one that doesn't lie, you held it up to their face without a word. And what they saw wasn't perfection. It was fear. If this one saw me, who else might? That terror, it haunts them. Because for someone who survives on smoke and illusion, being seen is the ultimate exposure. You became the test they failed and can't stop replaying. Closure, that's a foreign language to a narcissist. They don't want peace. They want control over the ending. They want to slam the door, have the last word, watch you fall as they disappear into the sunset. But you flipped the script. You wrote your own ending. No fireworks. No begging. Just the steady sound of your own footsteps walking away from their theater of lies. And now, you're the question that keeps them up at night. You're the scene they keep trying to rewrite, because they never got to dominate that final act. You denied them the grand finale. You didn't return for another round. You didn't give them the satisfaction of watching you suffer. And that messes with them on a level they'll never admit. They don't remember you the way a healed heart remembers someone who mattered. No, they remember you like a system glitch, like a code that broke the program. You're the reminder that they aren't invincible. You're the what if that won't stop echoing. And every new mask they wear, every new story they tell about you, every new name they love bomb into their life, it's all part of a desperate cover-up. But underneath it all, you're still there. Not as a sweet memory, as evidence. Because here's the part they can't scrub out. You didn't just walk away. You survived. You made it out of the fire still glowing. And they've never been able to stop the burning. So do they remember you? Oh yes. but not with roses or regret. They remember you like a scar remembers the blade. Every time silence falls and no one's watching, there you are, proof that someone saw through the act and still stood tall. You didn't just expose the narcissist. You outlived them in their own story. And that's a wound they'll carry forever. Final thoughts. Let's keep it real. If you've ever doubted your strength, let this be your reminder. You got out. You made it past the noise, the chaos, the manipulation. And every step you take now, every breath of peace you claim, is a victory echoing through the past. Let them pretend. Let them parade. But you keep walking. You keep rising. And let the healing roll like thunder behind you. Until next time, stay bold. Stay awake. Stay free.